Honorable Roslyn Parl hosts Youth Summer Day with Parl Rep. Community policing initiative launched in Calibishie and indoor sporting facility project ready to resume. Thank you for joining us on this edition of National Focus. I'm Kimani Saint-Jean.
And I'm Mervin Matthews. Stay with us for details of these and other stories after this.
Think water. Think life. Water refreshes, restores, cleans, and enhances growth. Potable water is a benchmark for development. DOWASCO is serious about its mandate to ensure easy access to potable water island-wide and provide sewage services for a cleaner environment. DOWASCO is your water and sewage company.
Thanks for staying with us. The community of Calibishie is expected to be more peaceful now that the community policing initiative has been launched. On Friday, a ceremony was held to officially launch the program. Community policing seeks to develop relationships between the public and the police, restore public confidence in the police, and to reduce crime. Honorable Minister for Trade, Energy and Employment Ian Douglas delivered the feature address on behalf of Prime Minister Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit. Honorable Douglas reaffirmed government's commitment to the community policing initiative in the community of Calibishie and also to other developments such as the rehabilitation of the primary school, among others.
As government, we are therefore impelled to support you in your pursuits for the development of peace and safety, not only in Calibishie but in the Nature Isle in general. And so over the years, as government, we have demonstrated our support to the community of Calibishie through diverse initiatives ever since we got into office. Last year, we gave you a state-of-the-art police station, which we opened. I was there myself. And we have to continue our improvements and our developments of your health and your education facilities, and that we vow to do. Your farmers continue to benefit from our many programs in infrastructure and in agricultural development generally. And we will continue to support you, of course, in tourism.
Honorable Minister for Justice, Immigration and National Security, Rayburn Blackmore, told residents that in addition to the new state-of-the-art police station, the community policing initiative is a demonstration that the Dominica Labour Party government is working tirelessly to ensure that Calibishie remains a peaceful community.
You may recall last year, right in Calibishie, I was with you for the official opening of your state-of-the-art police station. Can you recall that? A wonderful police station. You will recall in delivering my brief remarks, I called on the police then to enter into a partnership with the community of Calibishie to ensure your safety and your security as a community. You will also recall that I said with a new police station at Calibishie that the prospects look good for a community policing initiative. Can you recall that? Well, today it's a reality, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy because I can see on your faces that you're happy too. It is not just a dream, but it is here for us to embrace. And this launch is in fact a historic one. But we must go beyond just a launch. And we must demonstrate by our manifestation that we are serious about community policing.
Chief of Police Daniel Carbon gave some details about the community policing plan.
In late 2015, a committee comprising of all police inspectors, in keeping with the master plan, prepared a 3-year community policing operational plan. A coordinator in the person of Superintendent Coffee Williams was appointed to oversee the implementation of the plan. He is supported by a committee comprising also of assistant superintendents and, as I said earlier, all inspectors. The community policing plan has the full support of the government of the Commonwealth of Dominica. The community policing plan, operational plan, proposes new strategies to ensure the success of various aspects of community policing that will be launched island-wide. The plan advocates for the communities and police to work together in identifying problems, develop solutions to deal with them, community and police working together in partnership.
Committee members of the Calibishie Community Policing Initiative were introduced to residents as well as police officers stationed at the Calibishie Police Station. The next Community Policing Initiative will be in Woodford Hill.
The Honourable Member of Parliament for the Paybush constituency, Roslyn Parl, gave young people of her constituency the opportunity to liaise with her one-on-one by hosting an activity dubbed Youth Summer Day with the Parl Rep. Activities included a panel discussion speaking to the opportunity ties with youth development in Dominica. Also, the young people had the opportunity to hear the experience of a young entrepreneur of that constituency, Elias Dupuy, co-owner of 365 MMP. Honourable Paul told GIS News why the activity was planned.
It is meant for providing a moment, a time when you could interact, inform. So it's a day for interaction, information and fun among the different communities in the Paybush constituency and with different key players that can inform career development, youth development for young persons. So as you would notice, we have the Dominica Youth Business Trust here. This is a key agency for enterprise development with youth. My own Ministry of Commerce, Enterprise and Small Business Development, so young people can know how they can take advantage, for example, of the rural-based enterprise centers that we have introduced. We have some private sector that would inform and get the young people to know what's available to them. And so we also have the Aid Bank. You know, the Aid Bank provides opportunities for youth pursuing education and enterprise.
Honourable Paul noted that other parliamentary representatives like the idea and might be hosting similar ones in their respective constituencies.
This has been shared with others with other constituencies, and I hope next year we can have a zonal type activity for youth. Because youth are on vacation, it's summer, it's a time for fun, but it's a time that we can make ourselves available to the young people and to continue to dialogue with them, because that is very important. The youth are not just the future leaders, but even current leaders of today, and we need to empower them with knowledge and with information and to get them to socialize among themselves.
Rowena Carbon attended the event and says this initiative is positive and allows young people to voice their concerns.
I must say it's a very, very good initiative from the Parl Rep, because it really gets with the young people to really come out, express our ideas, our concerns, and get to interact with each other. And at least we get the feeling that somebody really care about us, and they just don't meet with us just before election or something, but on a general basis. We can say we're fortunate enough to have our Parl Rep almost every day at our reach. So I must say this program for today was very much good, and I guess that most of us, though some of us were shy of expressing our concerns, but I guess we learn a lot, and from there on we should know where next to go or what next to do with the ideas we may have in mind.
This is the second time that the activity is being held in that constituency. The day ended with each community in the constituency competing against each other in sporting activities.
50 students from the north of the island have received financial assistance from Range Developments to help fund their studies. The students each received $1,000 grants from the company, which is the developer of the 160-room Cabrit's Resort Kempinski in the north of the island. Mohamed Azaria is Development Director of Range Developments.
Our corporate social responsibility strategies are focused on entrepreneurship and children, the latter being the future. After all, we were all the future once, and now it is mandatory upon us to ensure the future has the resources and skills required to be effective when they are handed the leadership baton. It is with this in mind we are awarding 50 scholarships today to deserving students so they may further their education.
Honorable Parliamentary Representative for the Cottage Constituency Reginald Austri commended the company for its contribution to the island's youth.
Over the years, we've seen a number of private sector institutions, the credit unions, the WASCO, Domlec, and more recently was Triple K, an entertainment band. And more people are buying into the government's philosophy that education is the only vehicle that can get us out of our poverty, is education.
The scholarships were presented to the students at a town hall meeting organized by Range Developments to enlighten residents of the North on the magnitude of the ongoing Kempinski Resort.
One of the best hotels in the Caribbean is being constructed in your town. The Kempinski Dominica will be an ultra-luxury development and will firmly place your beautiful country on the Caribbean tourism map.
One of the major benefits of the construction of the high-end resort is employment.
We have approximately 100 people working on the site, of which 92% are Dominicans.
And of equal importance, the 350 plus direct permanent staff the hotel will require upon opening.
The Cabrits Resort Kempinski is the first development under the country's Citizenship by Investment program, which is designed to encourage foreign direct investment.
We are giving investors the opportunity to invest in Dominica.
Effective use of Citizenship by Investment funds will ensure unemployment can be reduced, taxes reduced, and more importantly, the quality of life significantly improved.
The Honorable Acting Prime Minister and Minister for Planning, Economic Development and Investment has welcomed the development in the North and believes this is further evidence of the commitment by the ruling DLP administration to develop the island's economy.
It is the only government to date was brought that level of development to Dominica, the only government to date, and we have to cherish it and we have to protect it. We have to protect it.
Range Developments have pledged to expand the scholarship program to other parts of the country. So Mervin, we see here that this first major investment under the Citizenship by Investment program is not only sticking true to just the investment, but it's branching out into the community. So we see that the community at large can benefit, besides the normal employment and so on, can benefit. And it's a program that has come under some fire, but we see that there is major benefit under this program.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, especially bearing in mind as you mentioned, the wide range of benefits that this project that they're involved in is going to bring for the community, well, the constituency, as a matter of fact. We're talking about 100 people right now already employed. Right. 90% of these people are Dominicans. Right. We're talking about the spillover effects of that. And one thing that I noticed that Range Developments is paying attention to is the education of the people in that constituency. Yes.
Very important, very important for the youth. And they're saying here that they're planning to expand it further, in the country. So it's not only going to stick to the north. Not only Portsmouth will benefit, but other communities around Dominica will benefit. And even as you spoke about employment, I remember recently when I visited the project, they were saying that a number of Dominicans, hundreds of Dominicans will be employed and will be trained, even if they're not really okua, as you would say, of the skills. They will be trained.
Well, and you have to remember that with a project like this, remember Dominica has signed several treaties. So let's face it, when this project is done, there'll be other persons out there who will be applying for jobs,
competing for the jobs.
So what I really like is the fact that Range has decided to bring down professionals to train our people, to prepare them basically for that particular job market. And even at the Dominica State College, we have the hospitality training going on.
Yes. So you can't go wrong with an investment like that.
Not at all.
And we really want to welcome other such initiatives in Dominica under the Citizenship by Investment program.
That's true.
Yes. You're watching National Focus. More when we return.
Introducing the Government of Dominica Internal Directory mobile app, available for download from the Google Play Store, One Mobile Market, and the Government of Dominica's website. Access to all ministries and sub-departments' phone, email and office addresses and websites. Simply select a ministry and the sub-department. You can dial directly from the app or save the numbers to your phone contacts. It's convenience at your fingertips.
Is my passport ready for pickup? Good. It really works.
Download the Government of Dominica Internal Directory mobile app today.
Welcome back. A lot of headway was made on the National Indoor Sporting Facility, which is planned for stock farm before it was temporarily paused. Earlier this year, the Honorable Prime Minister, Finance Minister Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit announced that once those displaced by Tropical Storm Erica were relocated, work on the project would resume. The Honorable Sports Minister, Justina Charles, recently told the House of Parliament that the ministry is once again ready to recommence.
The Honorable Prime Minister has instructed us to move speedily with the preparation for the indoor sports facility. But I can say to the Honorable Prime Minister that we were already at a point where all we wanted was the finance. So we are ready to roll as soon as money becomes available.
Designs for the $5 million facility were initially presented by the consultants RLO Consulting.
Convent High School's Enola Vital is Dominica's top CSEC performer with 12 grade 1s. She is confident that the guidance of her teachers and the support of her parents led her to succeed in this year's CSEC examinations. On Friday, a list of students who secured grade 1 passes in 6 or more subjects was presented by the Ministry of Education at a press conference. The 16-year-old told GIS News on Friday that the past few years have been a lot of work for her, but she's relieved that she's made it.
It was a lot of work. You have to organize your time. You have to try not to procrastinate when it's really easy to. I think teachers spent a lot of time and energy working with us, preparing us. This helps a lot. Also had some really good friends. When you can sit down and practice French with someone, you know, it's a good person. My parents? Yes, my first teachers. Really good, like a lot of support, help. I knew that no matter what I did, once I did my best, they would still be there for me, they'd still be proud of me. Well, someone to tell you to go to sleep, to eat, to don't panic once you're doing your best, to continue doing your best. I think it's with them I learned I got my inner drive, so, you know, I mean, it's one thing to have your parents telling you to do this, do that, but they were telling me to focus on my health and do my best.
The Convent High School graduate achieved her grade 1s in maths, biology, chemistry, physics, French, English, history, principles of business, information communication technology, music, additional math, and electronic document preparation and management. When asked about extracurricular activities, this was her response.
I play the saxophone, so I was involved in music. I was also in my school sign language club. It was really good.
Vital had these words of advice for students who will be sitting the CSEC examinations in the future.
It's really important to understand what you're doing. I mean, a good part of it is studying, but to really do well, you need to understand.
1,282 candidates sat this year's exam. Dominica had a general average of 81.7%, while the regional average was 64%.
The President of the National Youth Council, Senator Josiah Benoit, believes that the development of the National Youth Policy reflects positively on the island. He was addressing the official launch of the Dominican National Youth Policy Review last week.
For those of us that have a deep interest in youth development, we know that we're not just doing things to tick off a box on our to-do list, so to speak. We really would like to see the policies and the work of youth become enshrined in our culture, to be at the forefront of our leaders, at the minds of our leaders, and even at the grassroots level. And so I think to see that 12 years on, we are now, as a nation, going to review our youth policy. It shows that the youth policy itself, although when it came on, it was something new to us all, the NYC did play a major part. But now, 12 years on, we can see that the entire country has agreed or come to consensus that we need to have an effective, a current youth policy, and one that will be implemented to the T, God willing, with all resources provided, so that we can ensure the next generation of youth grow up to be model citizens.
He highlighted the fact that youth play a critical role in the development of a country.
The importance of a youth policy is really synonymous with the importance of youth to a country. All forms of development taking place right now are really and truly, to some extent, geared towards our youth. we want better healthcare, we want better education, we want better economic situations. It's all to ensure that families can provide for their children so that children can grow up to take on the responsibility of leading the country. In fact, that is the essence of the model of development that Dominica has taken on, which is sustainable development. That is development that meets the needs of a present generation without compromising the ability of a future generation to meet its own needs. How then can we truly expect for young people to be fully empowered if we don't have the proper policy framework in place for them, and to facilitate that growth and the passing on the baton so that they can take on the leadership role whenever that opportunity is presented? It's for these and many other reasons that the National Youth Council sees this process of reviewing the National Youth Policy as critical to its existence and critical to the achievement of its core goals.
Senator Benoit commended the tireless dedication of the Youth Division and noted that he would like the voice of the youth to be heard in the development of the policy.
For many of us, we view policy documents as documents that are only to be reviewed by leaders in specific offices, parliamentarians and such. But I want to send a clear message to everyone that is going to hear the sound of my voice at this time. This youth policy that we are reviewing, it should be owned by the youth of this country. That is to say, you should not expect as a young person under the age of 35 for a policymaker to be more okwa with your youth policy than yourself. We are the ones who should in fact give the most input, and we are the ones who in fact should take the most interest in this process. The process is still very young. As Mr. Roach indicated, the review of the policy will be conducted over a 6-month period. And so that means that there is ample time for us to get on board, those of us who have not heard about the review process so far, and to do our best to ensure that at these stakeholder consultations, at these youth consultations, there is adequate youth representation from every community across the country. So youth officers, we know you have your work cut out for you, but I'm saying that it should not be your work alone. Our district youth councils have to play a key part as well, and I'm sure they are committed. So let's see how we can bridge that gap and work together to identify youth leaders to give effective participation at those consultations.
And finally, this news time, the Honorable Tourism Minister, Senator Robert Tong, says training service providers to maintain the best standards is critical to the success of the industry. He reports to the nation that 205 individuals were trained in 2015 through the Discover Dominica Authority, although this is not a mandate of the organization. Honorable Tong calls on others to answer the call and facilitate additional training.
We train craft artisans, we train vendors, we train tour guides, custom officers, customs immigration, because these are some of the first persons who meet and greet the customer coming to us. DASPA immigration officers, community tourism persons, housekeepers at hotels, forestry park wardens and stuff, even the hotel front desk. What we ask of those persons who have been trained is to put into practice what you have learned.
Again, in 2016, the DDA facilitated a refresher course for industry professionals.
But the year so far, we've actually trained another 110 individuals, again, to try to ensure that we get the best possible service to our persons coming to Dominica. We did more housekeeping. Even in terms of community tourism training, we continue to do more. And based on our budget, we've actually allocated an additional $90,000. $90,000. So that all the community tourism groups will have proper training for their people. Because unless the persons in the community feel that they're part and parcel of the tourism product, they will not necessarily care about it the way we expect them to care about it.
In addition to training, government has allocated $2.2 million solely for the development of visitor sites.
It includes Bellevue, Chopin, Capuchin, Cole Soufriere, Tuna, aka Concord, the Emerald Pool, Journal and Eggleston, Grand Bay, the Kalinago Territory, Loda, Layu, Marigot, Mero, Monbruce, Point Michel, Portsmouth, Pottersville, Roseau, Salisbury, Scottshead, Soufriere, Syndicate, Thibault, Tito Gorge, Trafalgar Falls, Wharton, Waven. As you can see, there are a lot of interventions that we have to do, but I am positive that the team at the Ministry of Tourism will work assiduously to ensure that as many of these, if not all, are done within a very short period of time, so we can already begin to plan for the next year ahead.
Meantime, air access is high on the ministry's priority list.
Prior to Tropical Storm Erica, access was as follows. We had 76 flights providing 6,031 seats. That includes the ferry. Post Erica, as of March 2016, we had 46 flights and 4,654 seats. You can well imagine the reduction, and that obviously has impacted on the amount of persons who could come to Dominica. Even up to May 2016, it had not gotten back to where we wanted it to be. It was 52 flights or 5,415 seats. As of June 2016, we have 89 flights and 7,275 seats into Dominica. That is an increase of 17% and 20% respectively. So, Madam Speaker, we are concerned about Dominica. We are concerned about the tourism industry, and we are working diligently to improve on the number of persons coming to Dominica.
This is why he says a dedicated air access committee has been commissioned. Minister Tong pledges his dedication to the continued growth of the tourism industry.
I will continue to push them. We know that very soon the BVI will have flights coming in from Florida straight to the BVI. If you actually do a line from Florida to the Air Access Committee and giving them the mandate to speak to Air BVI to see how we can get flights from Florida to the BVI to Dominica. We're also speaking with many other airlines to make sure we can make these things a reality.
Coming up next, today's tip. Always wear your seatbelt and insist that your passengers do the same. One non-restrained passenger can seriously injure others in the vehicle. Seatbelts help prevent internal injuries by spreading the force of a collision across two of the human body's strongest areas, the pelvis and the upper chest. To ensure the proper distribution of force, the lap belt should be positioned across the upper thighs and the diagonal belt across the chest.
Never slip the diagonal belt behind your body. The lap belt alone cannot prevent you from being thrown forward or out of the vehicle. Use the lap belt at all times as well. Without this restraint, your body would be thrown under the diagonal belt and into the dashboard or steering wheel. Make sure your belt fits snugly against your body. If it is too loose, you could be injured by being thrown against the belt itself.
And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Like our Facebook page facebook.com/GIS News Dominica and follow us on Twitter at GIS Dominica.
You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. Live streaming is now available also on our YouTube channel 24 hours a day. From all of us here on the news production team, I'm Mervin Matthew.
And I'm Kimani. Thank you for watching and join us again next time on National Focus.